Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Exploring DC, where we take a piece of DC and explore with you. I'm your host, Josh. With me is my co-host, Jalen. Jalen, how
What's
are you?
good, guys? I'm doing good, Josh. How are you?
I'm good. Jalen, carries more dead weight on this podcast, Luis or Jackson?
As much as I love him, bro, I'm gonna have to say Jack. Jack like is like a Jack is like a supporting character at this point, bro. Or no, a guest character, bro. Like takes like a month off, and then he comes on for like a random episode, and then he has like another month off.
Dude, he's taking another month off. He let me know. He's gone September.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He let me know this a while ago. But he's like, don't worry, bro. Right before that, I'm locked in. I'm waiting for the
Oh,
lock-in, you know?
oh my god. Yeah, Jackson is gonna be like the guest co-host, where it's like people who tune in aren't gonna like know that Jackson Wells is here
But then the
until
energy
like they click
shifts
on it
so
and they're
much,
like,
and then they're gonna be like, "Whoa, this podcast."
it's super tame now. What happened? And then like
Dude,
they're
I
gonna get a
know.
random episode, maybe 2011 Green Lantern or something, like 2-3 weeks from now, and it's like, that really like Jackson Wells specific energy is
Yeah,
back.
we'll get him for the big stuff. How are you? How are you overall, man? How are you
I'm
feeling?
I'm great, bro. New job started.
Yeah.
Just saw the Odyssey.
Yes, we
The
did.
the Avengers Doomsday trailer dropped, and I am riding for it, 10 toes down.
I saw a lot of hate, man. You were like one of the only
Hey,
people out
man,
there rocking with it.
it be like that sometimes, bro. Which, not to say, I mean, I understand everyone's like, because at the same time,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
while I love this, I am not gonna be like that type of guy with anything, with like DC or with Marvel. That's like, oh yeah, this is, this is good, guys. I'm not gonna just argue that point when objectively I can see where people are coming from, and it's like Marvel
hmm
has a lot to prove with this. I think Spider-Man is already a certified banger, in my personal opinion. I think it's gonna be good, and I think everyone understands it's going to be good at least. I think it's Doomsday that has to prove the most to everyone, because this is supposed to be like your ender, I guess your in game, or your Infinity War, with no levels of build up at all, except for like what, 3 movies, 4 movies. So
yeah.
they got a lot to live up to for a lot of people. I mean, it's gonna make a lot of money.
Oh, I'm sure.
It is going to make over 1 billion, which, I mean, that's insured. It's just a matter of, will it be good? Will it be good enough for people to be interested in Marvel again? Besides like the X-Men and the Black Panther stuff, will they be turned on for more stuff? You know?
You know what I was trying to like? I was trying to put my head on why it felt so odd with that trailer. There's stuff I
Yeah.
liked, stuff I didn't like, and I think like Marvel and DC have been doing a lot of these multiverse fan servicey movies and bringing back a bunch of people and blending stuff. But when they market those movies, like when they marketed The Flash and No Way Home, and even Deadpool Wolverine, it's not like super overt that that's what it is until you actually watch it, and then you like, oh shit, all this is happening.
Yeah.
Doomsday is just up in your face, like, yo, here's this and this and this and this and this, and it's just strange. Like I saw James Marsden pop out in full X-Men animated series Cyclops gear, and I'm like, this is just like my brain is not processing it. Like it's cool, but I'm not like really fully grasping it. It's just so
Yeah.
strange that we're at this point.
And like the more that I rewatch the trailer, I do wonder, especially because like AMC confirmed that the movie's 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's
Yeah.
not 3 hours, which I think is gonna be something. But I'm wondering, because like if you think about it, bro, most of these characters are meeting either for the first time or for the first time in like what, 7 years. No one has had a crossover project except for like Doctor Strange and
Right.
Spider Man, or Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. Other than that,
No.
though, no one has really had any crossover projects. So, oh, and Thunderbolts too, but I mean, it's whatever. Great movie, but
And
it's just whatever.
and also like half the characters are missing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. That's
like
another
because
thing
I was
too.
thinking about the old Avengers movies, and everyone that's relevant shows up in those movies. Like, there's no one that's really not. I mean, maybe like Hawkeye not being in Infinity War and
Yeah,
stuff
and
like
like
that.
one of the strats that I think that that I noticed they were trying to do with the old Infinity Saga stuff is like with Infinity War, they obviously split them into three, like into
Yeah,
3 teams. You had Thor, Rocket, Groot,
Right.
Iron Man, Spider Man, Doctor Strange, and the Guardians, or the rest of the Guardians. Then you had the Avengers, like the Earth Avengers, so like the six Earth Avengers:
Mm-hmm.
Captain America, Falcon, Black Widow, War Machine, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Hulk, and the Wakandans. So like
Yeah.
everyone was split in such a even way, and it wasn't when you truly count all those guys, it's not 27 heroes, that they have to
Right.
balance. It's an Avengers team, the Wakandans, and the Guardians. That's all they have to balance, and they do it great. They got to balance what, four teams in this?
Four teams, and like even the teams are just comprised of just random. So they introduced so many new things now that
Yeah,
it's you just can't put all of it in. So now it just feels weird. I'm like, there's so many characters that are just out there
yeah,
not doing anything that we thought were gonna be. It kind of reminds me of like the Nightmare DC Zack Snyder stuff, where it would just be like a random assortment of characters. It was like
yeah.
Batman,
Like
Mera,
Deathstroke,
Deathstroke,
Mira,
Flash, and
Cyborg.
Cyborg,
Yeah,
and you're like, all right, but like, why are they all here? And where the fuck is everyone else? Like,
yeah,
that's the kind of energy that this is giving off, and it's weird, man. I don't know, but like,
yeah.
we'll see, we'll
I mean,
see,
and here's one thing I'll notice, bro. Everyone who has been ragging on it will still be there day one.
dude.
That's like
Day
that's
one,
the truth. Everyone will still be there
day
day one, whether to see if it's
day
bad or
one.
whether to see if it's good.
Dude, I gotta show. I went to the like it's called a flea market, which is basically like a big yard sale type thing
Mhm.
in my local town, and they had the bootleg Legos, dude. They had the bootleg
Yeah,
Legos.
because you texted the chat, and I guess like spoilers
Yeah,
for anyone watching this, but
look at that
oh,
Cyclops, man. Isn't that
that's
shit
so
cool?
cool,
That's so cool.
bro.
I got
The
I got
the
Jubilee too somewhere, and then I got Patch
oh, that is
Wolverine.
so cool,
I
bro.
know, man. I know.
Genuinely, how do they make those?
I think they have like pad printing stuff where you just have like the base design of Lego figures that are
Can I say?
plain torsos and everything, and then you just print the designs on them. But it's got to be, the machine has to be expensive, but then once you have the machine, it's probably super cheap to print out a ton
Yeah,
of
because like
figures.
why are those Legos so much more like
I know.
intricately made than actual Lego, bro? Like I was in the Lego store and I saw a DC set, and it
Yeah.
was I think a Batman set, like how they normally do, and like the
Oh,
Batman looked so
we're in
weird and
rough
like
times.
funky, like it looks so weird and funky, and I'm like, what is this? And then when
Yeah.
me, Jantmore, Derek, and uh Jackson were walking around like the Lego. Well, actually, I don't think that Jack was there, but me, Jantmore, and Derek were walking around to get those bootleg Legos. I saw like some
Mm-hmm.
Green Lantern ones, and dog, they already had like the lanterns, like the really poopy green
Yeah.
lanterns minifigure, and it looked so cool. Well, it didn't look cool, but it looked like
But
really
it was cool that
big.
it existed. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, bro,
Yeah.
Lego, you gotta step up, man.
No, honestly, all DC toys, bro, need to step up because, like, even Marvel's kicking their butt in the action figure lines, and they're kicking the butt in the Legos. They get
Yeah.
like twice as much shit. I don't know, man. The DC doesn't get like a lot of cool stuff. You get a hot toy every now and then, but even then, like the movies aren't as big as the Marvel ones. You don't get as much popping
Especially
out.
now that James Gunn might be out after next year.
Yeah, we'll see. We're doing a little retro today. We talked about the first season of Batman the Animated Series back in February, I think, and then
Something like that. February,
followed
January.
that. You guys followed that up with Mask of the Phantasm, the
Goaded.
theatrical movie,
Goaded.
which I did get a chance to rewatch like about a week or so ago because I missed it for the pod episode, and all I'm saying is whatever they pull from that movie for the new Batman, like they're gonna cook with it because that is your baseline. Like this is the core understanding of Batman as a character, and the way that they bring in everything with his past and his parents. Like
Yeah.
I would love to see that fully as just its own
Not
movie.
even a hot take, but that might be my favorite Batman movie ever. And I think I don't
That's not I'll say.
yeah, but I don't know if I said this on the pod that episode or not, but that might be my favorite. my favorite Batman movie.
Dude, this scene where he's like finally happy and begging for his parents' permission to give up being Batman in his crusade. Oh my god. Oh my god, man.
God, bro.
Chills.
God, bro. See, bro, I'm getting chills right now, man. Like, it's so good. See, this is what James Gunn should have been like building his universe off of. Because I'm telling you, bro, we're only two projects or two, like I guess sectors in Batman
Yeah.
season one, and you know, well, three now. Batman season two, and
Mm-hmm.
then Mask of the Phantasm, and it's already such a through line universe. Even in this season, we see Jonah Hex and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
some other characters pop up from the universe, and it's so well made and it's so intricate, which I know we're about to get into. But like God, man,
Right.
James Gunn, I'm telling you, bro, I kind of
Lock
hope
in.
he's out, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but like you said, not to bury the lead, we're talking about Batman the Animated Series Season 2, more appropriately titled The Adventures of Batman and Robin, which I found out is the basically the new show name at a certain point for this whole season.
Yep.
This came out in May 1994 to September 1995. It comprised 20 episodes, which is way different than the first season's
Mhm.
65 episodes. Bruce Timm and Paul Dini were still all over this project. Shirley Walker takes a big step up here because Danny Elfman did the main theme for the first season, and then when they redid the intro, they brought up Shirley Walker's orchestral stuff into
Okay.
the theme. I love her work in this show so much. I think it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's really good. I mean, you could tell it was definitely heavily inspired by the Elfman
Yeah.
stuff. It has its own like level of I think gravitas to it that establishes
Oof.
this Batman. And honestly, like there are a bunch of I think movies or films and TV series that end up using some of her stuff in their project. They end up like reworking it and mixing it to fit their stuff. Um,
Right.
so yeah,
Because it
it's
would have been
definitely
so easy to just it would have been so easy to just lean on the Elfman stuff, and they
oh
clearly did
yeah,
with the intro. And 89 Batman was huge, so it wasn't an easy shoe in. Like a lot of animated series just use the themes from the movies and such, but they brought in Shirley Walker, and she just brings such a unique essence to the show that is like it's thematically in line with Elfman stuff, but it carves its own path. And I think, yeah, I wish Jackson was here because I'm like I cannot sing the praises enough.
yeah.
The ambiance
We'll just
is,
have to find something for our guest character to get back on.
dude, I know. Same cast here: Kevin Conroy, Lauren Lester, Efren Zimbalist Jr., Bob Hastings. Not even a lot of new characters. The only main new character which we'll get into is I think Bane shows up for one episode, and he's like the only major. Like I know there's characters like Jonah Hex and stuff that are in it, but those are more guest characters. I would say the only character that would probably be relevant going forward in a Batman show is Bane that shows up. Everyone else is kind
Yeah.
of carryover from last season.
Yeah.
And then that's all I really got, except apparently they made a lot of all the video games from back then that tied into the show were all named after this season. So they had like a Super Nintendo one, a Game Gear, Sega CD, and they were all like the adventures of Batman and Robin. So this is when basically the show skyrocketed in popularity, and then they were doing a bunch of tie-in stuff. It was an interesting time, man. And then clearly they had to remarket it because they wanted it to appeal to kids. So that's why Robin is such a front force here. I wanted to start with you though, because this is not your first go around with this season. This is my
No,
first
it's
go
not.
around.
No,
So, how many times have you got into like this batch of episodes that you can
man,
remember?
once every year of my life, pretty much.
Yeah.
From the point that I was 5 up until now. So, God, I have to do math here. 18 years. Um,
Oof.
so maybe around, bro, 16, 15 or 16 times.
So
Um,
it's just comfort food at this point. Like
Yeah,
you know
bro.
all these
I mean,
episodes.
like, think about it, bro. Like, everything is, this is not a. There's no main storyline that goes through these episodes. It truly is Saturday morning cartoon. You sit down, you watch an
Yeah,
episode, and it doesn't lead into the next. So you can consume so many in such a short amount of, and then like they're really short too, and they're really well paced. So it's like 20-minute episodes.
they're
You
really
can
well paced.
you can consume like
Yeah,
3 to 6, and you've only lost 2 hours. Not even really lost. You have spent your 2 hours watching something majestically
very
peak.
very well.
You know.
Yeah, Yeah, dude, I burned for these episodes super fast. I also again I watched I have the Blu-ray which I showed off last time. So I watched the production order.
Beautiful.
So this one ended with the Batgirl episode where she comes back and teams up with Catwoman, and
I
it
believe the
starts
one
off
on
with
Max
the
ends with the
Killer Croc
Batgirl episode
episode.
too.
Oh, okay, so that's clearly is like where the leave off point is because season 3 they do a time jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so this is like kind of the end of this original set. There's a few things I want to get into. First, I talked about the intro. I like the music, but doing a clip show is such a downgrade from the peak that is the original intro for
Yeah,
this show.
yeah. I think
And I don't know, man.
I don't know if it was to save money or what. I mean, even though like, well, but then again, like you already had a great intro with season one. I don't know, man. It definitely does take away some of like that, and like it almost felt like with season one, you would watch that intro and it would kind of set the tone for
Yeah.
like the show and the episode that you were about to watch. Because like I remember, bro, when I was a kid and I was watching the intro for season one. I think in the first episode, which my very first episode, which was on Leather Wings, the Man Bat
Hmm.
episode from last season, and I watched the intro. I was like, oh man, is this like a cold open? Because I originally also
Yeah.
grew up watching Brave and the Bold, and Brave and the Bold used to have cold opens as well. So I was like, oh man, this is a cold
That's
open.
cool.
This is a really sick cold open. And then I got more into it. And then obviously with this season, that kind of goes away. And I remember being so bummed because that was such a cold, like a great opening.
Yeah, I know. And we've seen so many cool animated intros for superhero stuff to just see clips. But it's juxtaposed with such a good score that I'm not too mad about it. But at the same time, I'm like, the thing that really bugged me, dude, I was playing through the Lego Batman game, which I need to finish up. But there's a section where Robin gets introduced, and
Mhm.
they do a spoof on the intro of the animated series, pretty much 1 to 1. But they have Robin along with Batman, and I was like, that would have been so cool if they just redid the intro and added Robin in to the original intro.
That would have been dope. I will
I
give you
know.
some spoilers going forward though. I think for the most part, every single intro from here on out, Superman, the third season
Yeah,
of Batman, New Batman Adventures, Batman Beyond. If we watch Zeta Project and Static Shock and all that,
yeah.
that's all clip show stuff.
Dang, dude.
Yeah,
They only had one good intro in the tank, and they just
yeah,
like
yeah. That season one of Batman the Animated Series was the only one that felt.
that's probably why it's iconic, man. Because it's so
Yeah,
different than the
man.
rest.
Because I mean, I would put that in on either the same level or over the X Men the Animated Series intro.
Oh, it's better.
Yeah,
The Batman one, it's better. Yeah,
yeah,
dude. I mean, like, but I also have nostalgia, dude. Everything with that Danny Elfman score just brings me back to playing Lego Batman one on my Wii, and it just that easily wins me over. I'm like a nostalgia fiend, so that
yeah,
intro just absolutely wins me over, dude. I don't know, like what I you know what's interesting about these episodes that I noticed compared to the first one, and it took me a minute to kind of get into this, but the first one is Killer Croc coming back, which by the way, the sideshow episode is fantastic. I thought that was such a great start
yeah.
to this batch. Uh,
I think one of the things that I noticed about this season, and I know I was
mhm.
just talking about, there's no like real through point of this season. Like, there's no like main overarching story that they're building
Yeah.
towards, but there is, I think, a through line theme. And you
Hmm.
see it with this episode, you see it with Baby Doll, you see it with Trial, you see it with the Two Face
House and
Reform
Garden.
episode. Is like, yeah, Poison Ivy and all that other stuff. Like, there's something about reform and also truly getting into the psyche of these characters, of these villains specifically, and like seeing if there's more, pun intended, if there's more than meet the eye, than
Right.
meets the eye with all of these villains. Like, is there still some of Harvey left in Two Face? With the Two Face episode, is Waylon Jones truly a criminal like in Sideshow, or is he just is he a product of the way that people have treated him all of his life? And you can kind of ask that of any of these villains, and I think it's such a banger to start off with this with the Killer Croc episode, because it truly does set the tone.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
the whole.
for the
Yeah, they
season.
keep going back to just. I loved the way they structure that with tackling each villain and doing these more character focused stories. And I
Yeah,
think that tied into. It took me a second to catch on to this, but the first season kind of just they just feel like episodes. You know, there's
yeah,
some two parters, there's some things that get called back, but it doesn't feel like there's like something moving. There's momentum and stuff besides Robin and Batgirl coming in. This season, I could feel that time was passing in the sense that like I didn't realize how much time had passed to the
yeah,
I got to House and Garden. Poison Ivy had said like, "Hey, it's been 2 years since I've done Ivy. Like I've changed and become this person." Clearly, she didn't change, but
yeah,
and then I thought about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this show is moving in real time, and these characters are like, they've been around for a while. And this Batman has had a history now, and a
yeah,
history with these characters, and I think that makes these episodes have a lot more weight. Like the Harley Quinn episode of her truly just trying to make her way, and then a simple mistake like tanks her.
yeah.
It's so cool to see like that history really play out compared to the first season where we're just getting the introductions to a lot of these characters.
Yeah, because like you can even see, or you can even say like, and this was 90 94, I believe you said, right?
Yeah, 94, 95.
Yeah, this was like around that time, and now we're in 2026, and some of these questions are still relevant. Like, how much are we? And I mean, I brought this point up a lot to my friends, but like we send criminals, people who steal,
Mm-hmm.
people who I guess are victims of their circumstance, to prison. Are they really getting reformed? Or are they being thrown into a worse environment to create fear, to create
Yeah,
a level of comfort and dysfunction that keeps them going back, making them repeat offenders? And you see it with Harley Quinn. Like something as simple as a shop
yeah,
cleanse. Something as simple as that gets her back into a toxic relationship with the Joker, gets her back into that state of mind
exactly.
that she was trying to reform from. Like, it's so frustrating.
You even see that
About it,
full. Yeah, that's like fully over the head too in the lockup episode where you
Yeah,
get the prison warden that's just blatantly making the situation worse
yeah,
and doesn't understand the whole concept of what his role is in the system and like what he's actually trying to do. He's just looking for control and to strike fear. It's
yeah,
such a it, it doesn't present it like that at first. You kind of have to piece the season together, but the more you get into it, the more it just really thematically resonated with me in a way that I loved a lot of individual episodes of the first season, but I loved the through line of this season a lot more. But maybe that's also because it was shorter, so I didn't feel like the weight of having to get through 65 episodes.
for sure.
I was like, I'm breezing through these 20. Are there any other ones that particularly stand out to you in this season that you want to talk
Um,
about?
of course, Sideshow is still one. That's a big one. Let me look up my list here because I have my list on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Trial is one of the biggest episodes of the series. That's a really good one.
Trial is so cool. They have
Trial is
everyone in that episode.
incredible, bro. Um, Time Out, the Clock King episode really stands out to me because this was like my first introduction to Clock King. Obviously, Bane is a good one, but I think my favorite
Yeah.
one is Baby Doll because it touches on disabilities. You know, so Baby Doll was the episode with. Hold on, I have a description right here from Wikipedia. A washed-up actress has
Mm-hmm.
become bitter and insane after falling into obscurity and having a condition that prevents her body from growing to adulthood. Do you remember that episode now, roughly?
Yeah. With baby, where she's trying to basically assemble the whole sitcom cast and
Mm-hmm.
torture them
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
bring it back to how it was.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
it touches on, I think, a theme too of like, for her, that TV show living in that world was for her a state of normalcy, a state of where she could feel like a
Normalcy.
regular
Yep.
person and not like she was her condition. So obviously she wants to go back into that space. And even like with Sideshow too, like, can you really blame Killer Croc for getting mixed up with the circus freaks or whatever. When we all, I think, sometimes feel a little left out within certain circles. We all feel a little bit like, you know, like we can't fit in somewhere sometimes. And for Croc and for Baby Doll, those were their sectors. Like with Croc and the Circus Freaks, that was where he felt the most at home. With Baby Doll and that TV show, that was where she felt the most like she wasn't treated like a criminal. She wasn't treated like this mutant per
Hmm.
se, or this person who just scares people because of her appearance and because of her condition. Same with Croc. And it's like it truly does ask you the question, man, of like if you were a civilian in these situations and there was someone walking around with these conditions, how would you judge them? Would you include them?
Yeah,
Would you make them feel invited in your circle, in your space, or would you shun them and force them into a way lower, more depressing circumstance that leads them to their
yeah.
level of criminality? But I mean, overall, bro, Sideshow was amazing. Baby Doll was maybe my favorite one. Also, the Two Face episode. That Two Face episode was a banger too.
Yeah, that's the one with a little conflict of Robin and Batman.
Yeah,
And Batman's like, I'm just trying to help my friend. Yeah, yeah, that's some good stuff, man. Oh, dude, it's so good because you keep seeing the moments where these villains can really turn their lives around, and just something goes wrong, and it gets right back to where it was. But it
yeah,
doesn't feel in a way that's corny or like, oh, it's just we have to go back to status quo. It just feels like they can't get over themselves and get to the point that they need to.
yeah.
And whether that's part of the system or just their own internal psyche from the events that have already transpired. Oh, it's fascinating, man. Did you like the Bane introduction? Because this would have been pretty shortly after Nightfall started, I believe,
Yeah,
and
because
Bane kind of rose to prominence in the first place.
this was I think right before they debuted him in Batman and Robin and made him just like this brooding brute per se.
Yeah,
And obviously here he's more like your traditional Bane. I liked it. It was a standout episode to me because it was the introduction of Bane, of a mainstream DC Batman
yeah.
villain. But if you put this on par with like the rest of the episodes, like Sideshow and Baby Doll and Trial and all
It's a
those ones,
little.
yeah, it's a little like it's good, it's really great, but it's not up to par with those ones, you know?
I love the animation in that episode though when the venom is getting turned off and he's just going
Yeah,
crazy with the face. Man, they do some cool work in this one. They did another Mr. Freeze episode. That one was cool too. That was towards the end.
yeah,
Though that
man.
didn't really hold the candle to Heart of Ice, but it was a nice continuation.
Yeah, and then we got Sub Zero coming up next too. So we get even more Mr. Freeze. Fun fact for
Yeah,
Our DC listeners out there, our exploring listeners out there, Mr. Freeze, Two Face, and Phantasm, I think, are some of my favorite Batman villains ever because I think their stories are always so deep and so like intricate. So whenever I see something Mr. Freeze,
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, that's a need,
yeah,
that's a must.
yeah. There's two episodes that I thought were really interesting in here. One was, I believe, is it the Lion and the Unicorn? Is the one that's set in London?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that one was really interesting. How it's diving into Alfred's past and putting them in an entirely new setting when most of the show is set in Gotham. I thought that was a pretty bold choice to do that one. Even the return of Red Claw and stuff like that. I don't know if that one fully worked for me as much as some of these other ones, but it was
Yeah.
cool that they experimented with it. And the same way that what is the episode called? Is it Showdown? What
The one with
the
Ra's
Jonah
al
Hex
Ghul and
episode?
Jonah Hex.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Showdown.
yeah, that one too. That's like right after the London episode on my production timeline, and that's the I didn't even realize that it was going to be a full Western episode until we got a few scenes in, and it was basically like its own little spin-off episode.
Yeah, man.
Very
And
different than what they normally do.
there are a few more Western episodes coming up. I think soon. I don't think
Oh,
there's any
really?
Superman.
I love the I love the twist in that episode too of with Ra's al Ghul's son.
Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
was really good, man. I don't know, bro. It felt like I think one of the positives of the way that they do their stories is that you can take some time out to dive into another character like Alfred. For like the Lion and the Unicorn. And even
Hmm.
though like for me it wasn't my favorite one, it still was cool to get an Alfred centric something because up until this point he had just been the butler for you know 50 years, 60 years. And this I think allowed him
Yeah.
to flesh out his origin, as well as like maybe this was also partly inspiration for that Pennyworth series as well. Even though I've never seen that Pennyworth series, I don't know if they
Oh, I
included
love it. It's a great show.
Any Red Claw, anything in that show. But I know that
Not
this
that I
episode,
remember. No.
I think after this episode was when Alfred, when it was written into the comics that Alfred was like an old MI6 agent. So
Yeah.
it definitely did spark some
I,
interest in the origin
dude,
of Butler.
they always make Alfred the goat, man. I love the first season still, where he had his girlfriend for one episode, and she's just never brought up again.
Amen. Alfred is a player.
Like, dude was playing around.
Alfred is a player, bro.
Mad
Don't sleep
respect.
on Alfred.
Alfred is a player, bro. You see that all. You see that all the time. Are there any episodes in here that you could remember that don't particularly work for you?
Let me go through this list. Maybe make them laugh because it's just kind of generic. Joker wanting revenge,
Which one is that?
where he puts the microchips into the comedians.
Joker's not in this season a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's not
Or
in this season a lot compared to the first season.
yeah, which is good because Joker is so
I
overused.
agree. Yeah.
But the microchips aren't put in the comedians. They're used to brainwash the famous comedians. It was your generic plot. It was
All
your
right.
generic Joker plot. Like, oh, let's come up with this
Yeah.
ploy to, beat Batman or get Batman out of
But
fighting or
Condiment
whatever.
King.
I think that was the only one. What about you? Are there any that stand out for you as not all that?
That one definitely didn't do much for me. I'm trying to think. The terrible trio episode of like the rich guys robbing places didn't really blow me away. The I think the Riddler's reform is probably the least impactful of all of the returns to characters.
hmm
I didn't really get as much out of it as those other ones, but it is kind of the same theme. It's just not as strong. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, like, of the 20 episodes, I would say they're all it's very it's very consistent, even compared to the first season. Like, the first season had a lot of all over the place and a lot of peak in the first season. But
for
there's
sure.
65 episodes, so there's a lot more hills and valleys. This one, it's like it's a lot more focused, and I liked it. I thought it was really cool. The one thing I will say too is that despite Robin being part of the name now, I still don't really feel like he's as impactful of a character.
Whew. Just you
Like
wait,
he's
Josh.
there right now.
Just
He's
you
there
wait.
right now, but like I'm talking about, like, this season's called The Adventures of Batman and Robin, and
Fair,
Batman still feels
fair.
like the main focus with Robin being around. I mean, there's some, like, the Batgirl episode he has a decent role in, and even the Two Face episode, but there's no true Robin focused episodes even compared to the first season, which had some.
Robin's Reckoning, yeah. So let me ask you this: when you're watching Robin's story over this season, or the episodes that Robin is in, did you
Hmm.
see any changes in him? Like, did you start to feel more of that disconnect of ideals or that difference of ideals between the two of them, roughly?
Yeah, I can definitely feel the friction growing over the course of this season, and particularly in that Two Face episode. You can see
Yeah,
him, like, snarking and bickering back with Batman a lot more often, and feeling like left out and excluded, and
yeah,
even just going on his own path in a lot of ways.
yeah.
And so I'm definitely curious to see that fully realized in some of the future seasons.
Yeah, because like one of the things too is when I was a kid, I'd never obviously because I was a kid, but like I also never really truly paid attention to his through line throughout season one, season two, and then all the way up until New Batman
Yeah.
Adventures and then Batman Beyond. and I never really like peeped it. I just thought those episodes where him and Batman are like having their difference of opinions or difference of ideals were just like, you know, him being an angsty teen.
Mhm.
And, you know, angsty teens are always the argumentative ones.
Yeah,
But when you truly like look at it, you can feel some of that resentment start to form, and some of that like that clash of like, you know, you know, I wear this costume, but I don't fully agree with how you do things, you know. And
exactly.
maybe like when I was a kid I did because I was more impressionable, but the more that I've grown and the more that I've matured from my life and learned from my own experiences with vengeance and my own thing with Robin's Reckoning, I think Robin's Reckoning was a big turning point for him. But you look at it now and you truly do, you know, you truly start to feel that disconnect there, to where I'm not going to spoil it, but when we see them in New Batman Adventures, that resentment is at an all-time high, and it
Yeah.
genuinely
At
is
this
to the
point,
point where you question if he even loves Bruce anymore, or if it's a thing where it's like, I hate you for making me what I am. And it's such an
yeah,
interesting, you know, thing that you never fully like. He could still very well love Bruce, but the way that they write it from here to New Batman Adventures, because New Batman is the next place that you see him, he's already Nightwing there. um and you
yeah.
feel it, you feel so much hate for him. So I'm really excited for us to get to that, so you can really see where all of this has been leading to.
I am too. Yeah, dude, I'm excited because it's pretty subtle here, but it's definitely noticeable. And
Yeah.
it's honestly, it's just something where like even thematically, I'm like Robin doesn't feel like a big part of this show, even though he's still on the title. And I think there's a through line of where Robin feels like he's part of the title, but not part of the actual mission in
Hmm.
like his act in the actual in universe. Like
Yeah.
he's there, but he's not really there. And we'll see how that expands. Because at the end of the day, it is Batman the animated series, not Batman and Robin
Yep.
deep down. So there's a lot. Man, I really liked this season. I'll tell you that much. I'd be hard pressed. I think it was just as good as the first
Yeah.
season in different ways, though. That I liked both. You know,
On a rewatch, I may put this over the first season.
because the first season is just there's so much, and there's just it's a lot. Like you
Yeah.
have some very strange episodes in there, and some really high peaks. Like there's definitely many episodes in season one that would take over season two. But like if you're gonna give me a season to go back to and revisit it, like give me season two and I'll whip through
Yeah.
those and find those thematic through points and really enjoy that.
Yeah, I think just the themes of the second season hit me so much stronger than the themes of the first. You know, because there were so many episodes in that first season.
Yeah.
But this one felt way more like, you know, concise, and like obviously having that through point of reformity, and like if people can truly be reformed, or are they just victims of their situation, which I think is an interesting question to ask, especially for Batman villains.
It's a big thumbs up for me though. End of the day,
Huge thumbs up from me. I'm excited for
all
Batman
across the board.
Sub Zero.
Yeah, I feel so satisfied having actually seen a lot of this show that I've heard about for so many years. It's good to finally
Yeah,
like
man.
be at a place where I can feel like I have a say on this stuff, and it just makes me more excited to go into some of the other shows, even though I know they're not as highly regarded in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes as Batman can be,
I would
I'm
say,
really psyched to get into the Superman one.
yeah, of course, like obviously form your own opinion, but I would say right now the peaks are obviously this. The new Batman Adventures is a high one. Batman Beyond the entire way through is a high point. Static Shock the entire way through is a high point. And Justice League season 2 through Justice League Unlimited are high points. Justice League season 1 is rough, but they're trying to find their footing there. Superman the animated series is a mixed bag,
What
and
is
you'll
it?
see why.
What would you say is like the worst season of these shows? I guess obviously the Zeta Project would be the easy answer, but
Yeah, but
there's
most people
another
don't
one.
really count the Zeta Project because there's only like small mentions of that in the DCAU. The worst
Yeah.
season of these shows would either have to be Superman the Animated Series season 1 or Justice League Unlimited. I'm not Justice League Unlimited, Justice League season 1. One of those two.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Well, I mean that's what we're getting to next. So I'm curious. Superman stuff after we get for that one Batman movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm definitely interested for
We'll
you,
dive right
to
in.
to see what you guys think of Superman the animated series. Because, like I said, there's a lot of people that love that show, and it definitely did start
Mm,
some of the opinions that you see now on Superman. However, it also did start that Superman is boring mantra as well in some
yeah,
areas.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see what you guys think on it.
I'm excited, dude. We have a few news stories. I have three big ones and three small ones. So we'll get for the small ones and then hit the big ones, and we'll wrap that up for the show. So first three here. Fortnite's doing the Hot Bat Summer mini event, which is basically they have a bunch of goon skins of Batman and Poison Ivy and Catwoman, Harley Quinn. I just wanted to bring it up because it's cool to see any DC representation in video games, even if it's
Yeah.
just for Marvel Rival style swimsuit skins. Like I'm just happy to
Yeah.
see anything DC, man. So I still need to finish up Lego Batman, but outside of that, it's like looking bleak out there. So
Yes.
we'll see, dude, bro. We got to get back on Fortnite, the four of us, man.
We do, man. We especially since now
Run it back.
Jackson plays. So like the four of us really have to like stream an episode or something
Yeah,
for the people, for the masses.
I got the Lobo skin. It's so fucking cool.
Let me try
The
it.
Lobo and the Supergirl skins are sick as hell.
I'm
Despite that
not gonna
movie
lie,
being
I
not
haven't been on
fantastic,
Fortnite in a hot minute, so I gotta tap back in.
dude. Yeah, we'll get in it. And no candles to Marvel Rivals, but it's it's holding its own. What else do I got here? Absolute Green Arrow got extended to 12 issues. That was supposed to be a 6 issue limited series, and apparently it's
Dope.
getting a lot of great reception. So that's getting upped. So now it's going to be the same run as Martian Manhunter. All right, Jalen, you are alive again after after dying to the storm.
Yes, I died for a little bit, but we are back. It is
Yeah.
like storming like crazy, guys. So like my Wi-Fi went out for like a momentary second. So hopefully it stays for the rest of this
Mhm.
episode.
But Absolute Green Arrow got extended, so it's going to be the same length as Martian Manhunter. I think Catwoman's limited too. So a couple
Okay.
of these series are not ongoings like the main Justice League. I am very interested to tap into this one because we've only read up to, at least from my end, I've only read up the first volumes of everything. So
Hmm.
I would love to get into everything else, like
Yeah,
these two
bro.
new series.
I'm excited to see what they did different with Green Arrow. I mean, I know a little bit of what they did different with Catwoman because it's a spinoff, but to see how they
Mm-hmm.
truly made Green Arrow a demon and why and how that all works for his rogues gallery and his supporting cast, that's going to be really cool and interesting to see. Do we know when it drops, or has it already dropped?
No, they already got 2 issues out. I think the third's coming out soon.
Oh, okay. Well, I will definitely
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
reading that this week.
Yeah. And then we have three big stories. Um, I think we'll do the first one was Jolo Maridueña is reprising Blue Beetle and Man of Tomorrow, which has basically been officially confirmed by Jolo himself posting about rewatching Blue Beetle on Instagram. And also, just to tack this on, there was a leaked report that the hit character White Rabbit is back from Peacemaker season 2
For
as
what?
well.
Like, for what? For what? What are we doing? What are we doing?
For
What are we
what?
doing with this universe, bro? Like, what is this? Why do we have 17 or 18 characters in this thing? And are these just gonna be like Crisis on Infinite Earths Arrowverse type style, where like you see a round table in the Hall of Justice and a Superman who's recruited all these people and made it a just? This is a Lex Luthor movie, is it not? Lex Luthor is the lead of this thing. Like,
That
why?
was the alleged rumor, man.
Yeah, like come on, Jimmy, bro. I like you a lot, but you gotta choose. You have to choose. Are you in the lane of CEO, the person who's building this thing, or are you in the lane of filmmaker? Because I know from
Yeah.
experience with filmmaking, Film takes all of your time. There is no way that James Gunn is working on Peacemaker, Creature Commander, Superman, Man of Tomorrow, all this stuff, and still having time to fully give his all to films like Supergirl and Clayface and Lanterns and
Right.
Mr. Miracle and whatever else is coming down the pipeline. There is no way. Like, because film
No.
takes all your time. You're writing, you're editing, you're doing stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, I know it's not Peter Safran. Peter Safran is the one calling the shot. So it's like, what are we doing? What is this movie? And like, this is not a Superman
Yeah.
movie. This is not a Lex Luthor movie. Even this is a Justice League movie. And I don't understand why.
Yeah. That's why it's not Superman 2.
Yeah, but I say I don't understand why we can't just get like Derek Wood said, like just a straight up Superman movie with Clark, Lois, Lex, Metallo, Brainiac, whoever else, bro. And we see that dichotomy between Clark and Superman. Like I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. But what's your
We are
thoughts, Chad?
doomed to never get a fully realized Superman 2. Because even the original, the only Superman 2 that ever came out was like hacksawed to death and had multiple cuts. And since
Yeah,
then, we've never got a proper Superman 2. Dude, it's tough out here. I don't know, like the Blue Beetle thing, like it was reported. I mean, we knew 2023 said Blue Beetle was a DCU character that was going to show up again. I think clearly there was reports last year that James Gunn said Blue Beetle fans would be satisfied pretty soon, and we all thought that was going to be Peacemaker related, but clearly it was because he had plans for him and Man of Tomorrow. So it's not like this is out of nowhere.
yeah,
I just have mixed feelings about. I mean, I've had mixed feelings at the beginning from bringing in DCEU elements and hodgepodging things together. But that's just like my own cinematic universe brain of it all. I'm fine with this in the context of like we already have 50 other characters, but I agree
yeah,
with you in the sense of why do we even have 50 other characters in the first place? But like Blue Beetle specifically actually does not make me annoyed at all compared to like the engineer coming back or some of these other random characters, Peacemaker being in it. Blue Beetle actually probably makes more sense considering it's an alien focused
yeah,
character and we're focusing on an alien focused storyline. That tracks more for me than a lot of other characters have been reported for this fucking thing.
yeah.
More than Maxima, man, I'll tell you that much, or Wonder Woman or
Yeah.
whatever you want to
And
do.
then it's like, truly, how many of these characters are actually gonna get time to build and like whatever? Because
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure this movie has the same amount of heroes, or at least we're getting there as Avengers: Infinity War. I am
Which
pretty
is fucking
sure.
crazy.
I am pretty
Yeah.
sure, bro.
Do you think they'll address any like Blue Beetle will be like, hey, I had this adventure or whatever, or will he just kind of feel like a complete reboot of the character with the same actor?
He'll probably just be there, and like he might like mention like a few moments. You might see a moment with like his grandma or his sister or something like that, like a quick moment, and then he'll just
Yeah.
be in the fight, you know. And then also not to mention, bro, we still have four people who haven't been like announced, like who haven't had their characters announced yet, like Matthew Lillard and like three other actors.
Yeah, and there's supposed to be a big villain still in this movie that we don't know about.
Jesus, yeah,
Could be good. I mean, you know, I'm never gonna doubt a James Gunn superhero movie because they've all been pretty good. Like
yeah. But I
my least
think
favorite
I
is
think
Guardians too. You know,
look, he though it sucks that 2027 is Man of Tomorrow, Avengers: Secret Wars, and Beyond the Spider Verse Part Two or whatever they're calling it. Like those are our only three superhero movies
they're all
of the
the
year.
they're all the big fan service stuff.
Yeah,
But some of them will
unfortunately.
be peak. We'll see. We'll see. That ties into another interesting uh, DCU thing. Jimmy Tatro cast as Gorilla Grodd, which we had reports of for the Jimmy Olsen show. This is a comedian actor. He's been in like 22 Jump Street. He just showed up in that Will Ferrell golf show. He was in Scream 7 earlier this year.
Hmm.
He's been around for a bit. Um, I don't know, man. I don't think
Do you not
I
rocking
don't know.
with
I'm
it?
I'm very mixed on it. I don't think inherently like it's a bad casting for what they're trying to do with the show. If they're trying to lean comedic, like it makes sense, and he seems like he could do enough. I've heard his voice, and you can make it work. I'm just confused why we're leaning that way with Gorilla Grodd, and also even if it is a comedic show, I figured they would cast a like actual serious actor to play Gorilla Grodd and juxtapose like Gorilla Grodd ends up being the straight man to Jimmy being the strange person. I thought that was kind of what we were going for, but it seems more like that Jimmy might be the straight person to Gorilla Grodd and all these other people being like crazy comedic characters. I don't, like, do you? How do you feel about this show? Because this is going to be filming soon.
Why do we need it? We don't need it. We don't need it.
We don't need it.
We don't need it. That's really all I gotta say, bro. We don't need it. You are going to
No.
ruin Grodd's reputation and make him comedic before he even shows up and is a villain of a Flash movie.
Yeah, but is Grodd's reputation that good in the first place? I mean, he's known for the
Bro,
Obama scene
bro.
and the Flash CGI.
Yeah, yeah. It's already not good, but they have the chance to rebuild it because, like in the comics, bro kidnaps the Speed Force, and he basically becomes a super speed gorilla or a gorilla with super speed. He
Yeah,
rules. He usurps a whole society of apes. Like bro is actually like crazy cool. And then you even see, like, in Cersei's vision that she gives Amanda Waller, Gra is standing right next to the Queen of Pakolistan, or whatever they call that place. Um, and like he's supposed to be set up as like this evil world domineering guy just for those quick few moments with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Kid Flash, all these other people on pikes. And now we're gonna make Jimmy Olsen the main, like, and we're doing the trial of Grodd. So the Flash already exists, and the Flash is taking Grodd in. I'm assuming because they're already having a casting call for someone with super speed for this thing,
they'll probably
which
do
I
Jake
saw.
Garrick, dude, because
Imagine,
that whole mural
imagine, no,
situation.
imagine this. Imagine this Jesse Quick.
Hey, you can imagine anything, he'd probably do it, man. I don't know, like I'm all for weird DC shows inherently because I like weird shit like Legends of Tomorrow and stuff like that. I just am very skeptical to put weird shit in the first couple of years of your cinematic universe thing.
Yeah,
Like this is our mainstream guy.
yeah. It's not. I don't think it's going to work in any sense of the word. And I think, like I said, bro, I think that you're going to kill Grodd's reputation before he even has a chance to build one up with the Flash, or with his interactions with the Flash character, um, and all of that. But it definitely is. I mean, it's gonna be exciting, I guess. It's just still one of those projects where you truly ask, why are we getting this before we get a Batman project? Why are we getting this before we get a Wonder Woman project? It doesn't make any sense, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, if you take the cinematic brain out of it, if this was just presented as its own standalone thing, would you be interested in it?
No, because it sounds like powerless.
That's true. Powerless was not very good, but
It sounds
Powerless in concept was cool.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Powerless in concept was cool. The fact of Jimmy Olsen like covering different villains in the DC universe sounds cool, but when you truly think about it and you truly think about the execution, doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Pair those
I
two
think it would be
together.
10 times cooler to me as an animated show
Agreed.
because you could go a lot more kooky with it. And even when I think of
Agreed.
like the My Adventures of Superman Jimmy, like him getting his own DC crime spinoff show,
That sounds
that
like
would be way
this.
more
Like
peak.
it sounds like something that would be better suited for the My Adventures universe.
Right. Final story here. The Batman Part 2.
God, it
All
is
glory be to
nothing
Matt
but
Reeves.
Josh. It's nothing but bad news, bro.
Nothing but pain.
It is
Delayed to
nothing
February
but
18th,
pain.
2028, a 4 month delay, but we did get to see a little screen test of a Batman with some
Little
longer
cool.
ears on his cowl, so I guess that's cool.
Look
I don't
cool.
know. That's not enough to soften the blow though.
No, bro. Which means that either Brave and the Bold is gonna be the year after, or we're getting two Batman movies in the same year. Because they're not gonna
Oh,
wait
Brave and the Bold
much
is
longer
like
for
dead,
Brave and the
dude. Brave and
Bold
the Bold
to.
doesn't. Brave and the Bold doesn't exist, especially if Jimmy's jumping ship. That just doesn't exist, dude. And I'm seeing these Batman like casting rumors. I don't believe it, dude. But back to this. This is funny now because it's a month before March, and March 2022 is when the Batman came out. So this is now going to be pretty much exactly on the dot 6 years since the
Jeez.
first movie, and that is a insane gap considering the original release date for this was late 2025,
then
late
James
last
Gunn,
year.
then James Gunn jumps on threads and is like, this is actually a pretty normal time length for sequels, and it's like, dog, like, come on now, Jimmy.
Mind you, six years ago, the DCEU was still in full effect. We had The Rock coming in to save DC with Black Adam. The MCU was in the 411 Thunder She-Hulk comedy era when the Batman was coming out, dude. Star
Yeah,
Wars was at Book of Boba Fett level. Same year as Top Gun Maverick. Like
Jesus, bro.
we were still in COVID recovery at this point. I was still in high school when the Batman came out. I now have a full time job out of college.
I know, right? We are grown men, bro, and we're gonna be
I
25
know,
years old.
dude.
We're gonna be pushing 25, bro.
Dude, literally. And it,
So,
you know, there's a part of me that's super excited, but the part of me is also just like each year gets more deflating, man. I'm super excited for this, but like I do not want to wait that long.
my
I've already
excitement
put in
level
my
for
wait time.
my excitement level for anything DC has been going down in the last year. Even like before Supergirl, I'm not gonna blame everything on Supergirl because even the Supergirl was a terrible showing for them as a brand.
Hmm.
Um, this started, I
Which, by the way, the
think,
box office on that is cooked recently, from what I looked at.
Jesus, bro. Yeah, like I think where people were on such a high with Superman, and then you release Peacemaker a month later, and then Peacemaker
Yeah,
is like, "Oh, we're building, we're building, we're building, we're building. What's gonna happen? A new universe, yada yada yada." And I remember there was conversation surrounding Peacemaker each week, and then that finale just undoes everything that they're building, and I think that people's uh optimism kind of died then and there, or not died, but plateaued then and there. And
yeah.
since then, it's been bad news after weird news after lying news after whatever, and that's just caused people to go less. And then Supergirl comes out and does nothing for you. It only kills you even more.
Not to mention the Paramount hostile takeover just looming
That
over
too.
Warner Brothers heads every day,
Yeah.
and like, what is this all even going to be exist in 3 years if we're cutting costs when we merge? Yeah, man, it's this is on par for DC. This is what I've been doing for the past, honestly, since before the Batman came out, of just shit's going down the fan. You get some gems in there, but every year you get worried for the future. And 2025 was the one year, dude, I felt stable with DC.
Yeah.
That was the one year I was like, all right, we're chilling, we're doing good, we're coasting. And now every year before then and since, it's like
It's been
it's
nothing but
rocky. I
yeah. It's been
hate
nothing
being
but
I hate being back in that feeling. That's why I was so excited about Superman, and even I mean Peacemaker at least got pretty good buzz, so I was still riding the high of it. It was a great year, and not to say that this year doesn't have its gems and you know cool stuff, but I just think all the news has been killing everything. The news is just killing the vibe more than the actual projects.
yeah. And then the fact that James Gunn jumps on threads to debunk or confirm stuff doesn't do him any favors either.
Mm-mm. No, but the Batman will still be peak. It's not even that bad of a delay. I think a lot of people agreed. It's just like the fact that it got delayed again. Like normally, if you hear a 4 month delay, you're not stressing about it. But it's just the fact that this is the fifth delay or sixth delay. It's like the nail in the coffin of just like I'm so tired.
Yeah, genuinely. And then
Yeah.
it'll have been 4 years since the Penguin when this comes out, or three and a
Oh
half.
yeah, and who knows? I think that was a show that was rumored to be gearing up for season two sometime, possibly
Yeah,
next year or this year. And now, will that get a season two before the second season of the Batman or the second movie of the Batman? Probably not. So we'll
plus
probably
because I
won't get
mean,
another follow up to that ever.
yeah, which I don't think it needs. Like I think they're only doing a second
No,
season because of
but I'm
like
sure their
the
original
works.
plan was like, to do Batman two and then another Penguin.
Yeah, or
It's
like
weird, man, and
I actually feel like their plan may have been to do Batman 2 and then another villain. Maybe focus on like Catwoman and Sophia
yeah,
Falcone or something like something that's already established,
yeah.
and truly build out
Will
that.
will this the will this delay though have a thing where we can do some scenes in Man of Tomorrow and rework the Batman a little bit? Man of Tomorrow has a big pop with Robert Pattinson showing up, and bam, he's DCU. Is that why we're delaying it a bit?
I got some bad news for you, Josh. I got some bad news for you. I got some terrible news for you. Pattinson is not joining it. Well, not even gonna hold you, bro.
Dude, think about it from like a shareholder thing. If I'm David Zaslav
Yeah,
or
I was
whoever
just
the
about
fuck,
to
like
say,
I'm
bro.
going up to James Gunn and being like, why the fuck are we not banking on our thing that people actually like?
Yeah, and then like, why is this not in the same
Yeah, I
universe?
don't know how there's not executive override on just merging that shit.
Which I would
I would
hate.
do it as an executive, maybe not
I
as a
would hate
creative,
that
but
so bad. I would genuinely hate that so bad. It would not be
yeah,
right. It wouldn't be right. I promise you, it wouldn't be how most people are envisioning it. And like I can see that just because Matt's vision is so distinct and so far from what I think the DCU is trying to go for.
yeah.
I just don't think it'll
But
work. I
yeah,
just do not think it'll work in the slightest.
hey man, I don't know. I think seeing David and Robert would do something for me. Well, it
Man,
would unlock something, man.
that would be like
Oof,
I don't know, bro.
dude. I don't know. But yeah, I guess we have less to talk about next year. So podcast is already pretty thin on new content half the
I
time.
swear.
We just have news.
We don't have anything new other than like maybe My Adventures this year, and then of course Cape Crusader, and then Lego
Yeah,
Batman 4. That's gonna be it, and then I guess Lanterns and then Clayface, and that's it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's it for the show this week. We'll catch you guys next week. Thank
See.
you for listening. Bye.